as not miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And Rokani David is my name. Big game happened in there for you, and I had predicted 2-1 win for the club of Arsenal, but Man City went ahead to obviously make the job so much easy for the club of Arsenal when they're really tussling it out at the Millennium Stadium. And I tell you what, Arsenal have gone ahead to obviously start their season from where they ended it from. I tell you, you've gone ahead to see both managers referring to this as a final. When did Arsenal end their season? When they are playing in what we call the Champions League final, not so? And this was like another final. And they've gone ahead to lift a trophy, and that is the Community Shield. You understand? And they lifted a Premier League trophy last season. They've gone ahead to beat Man City by 3-0. And that obviously gives Arteta a psychological edge ahead of Enzo Maresca. Let's see close to 300 likes much in this video, and don't forget obviously coming through and obviously be part of this conversation by going into the community chat to see to it that you give us the best that you guys think about this game of football. Live chat is available. You can buy super chats because I know very many messages are obviously going to be flocking into what we call the comment section. So please do the needful, do your particular job and buy a super chat for me to obviously see your message very well, because some of you will come out and say, Rokani, you are not obviously reading our messages. Let me tell you, there are obviously going to be very many flocking into the live section. Now, let's get into this game of football. First and foremost, Arsenal came up and obviously put out a very huge performance. Kudos to the club of Arsenal. And in 25 seconds, Arsenal had already gone ahead to obviously register a goal. And when you look at how Arsenal went ahead to obviously play against City, it was a high press. That is it. It was a high press. I tell you, a very, 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 very high pressing game for the club of Arsenal. And they knew to it that they had to really threaten this man who came on through and obviously did the needful. And indeed, Arsenal went ahead to obviously threaten the man. And in the due course of all that, Arsenal found themselves in a position of really getting themselves into a goal-scoring situation. And how did this come about? You know, Arsenal through the central axis, they pass the ball to Tzolis. Tzolis goes in for a cross to find Noni Madueke. Madueke heads the ball into the midfield. I think who was there? Was it Bruno Guimaraes? He played into Miles Lewis Kelly, and there is the way Miles Lewis Kelly received the ball and went ahead to obviously take off. I think it was Elliot Anderson, and went ahead to obviously release that ball to find Riccardo Carafiori. And Riccardo Carafiori went ahead to obviously put that ball into the back of the net to make it 1-0 for the club of Arsenal. In the history of the Community Shield, no one has ever gone ahead to score a goal in 25 seconds. And this man, known as Riccardo Carafiori, came in through and obviously found the net, you know, in those minutes in there for you. And even Opta Joe went ahead to obviously note this down, and they went ahead to tell us the following about this beautiful goal that was scored by Riccardo Carafiori. Riccardo Carafiori's goal for Arsenal after 23 seconds is the first scored in the opening minute of the Community Shield since Bobby Owen for Man City against West Bromwich Albion in 1968. So it is the fastest goal, and it being the fastest goal, it really came up with lots and lots of, because if you want to threaten your enemy, what do? Go ahead and obviously score that goal. Surely, you would have gone ahead to obviously threaten your enemy. And indeed, Carafiori went ahead to do that. And after doing that, I think it was all what we call a mental shock for the side known as... It was a mental shock for a side known as what? It was a mental shock for a side known as who? For a side known as Man City. Because the man came in through and really represented to the fullest. Put out a very huge, big goal in there for you. And I was like, oh my. Because if you're Enzo Maresca, you wouldn't like your team to concede like this. Let's all admit. Okay. conceding early, you wouldn't like it, but in the manner that they conceded, it's really unacceptable, according to me. If I'm the manager, I'll be fuming throughout. You cannot allow your team to obviously come and concede like that. This goal, right? And this is how Riccardo Carafiori went ahead to obviously finish that into the back of the net. And I was like, what is running in the mind of the main man who goes by the names of, what is running in the mind of the man known as who? Known as what's his name? Known as Enzo Maresca, because his players had lost concentration and down tools in the opening half minute of the game. That is unforgivable. And Riccardo Carafiori went ahead to obviously do the needful. Then, after conceding that goal, obviously, Arsenal went ahead to obviously show that they are really hungry for more. Arsenal showed that they wanted more goals and more goals and more goals. And the other goal, the first one, went ahead to obviously get in the first minute. Then in the 28th minute, Kai Havertz went ahead to obviously convert another one into the back of the net. And when you looked at how things really went ahead to happen in there for you, Martin Odegaard gets the ball, on, I think he was in the right inside tunnel or right half space. If you don't know the half space is the space between the center line and the touch line. You understand? So that space in there for you in between. And went ahead to obviously go for the back post effort to find a player known as Tzolis. And Tzolis headed that ball into the vicinity of Kai Havertz. And Kai Havertz went ahead to obviously put that ball in the back of the net to make it 2-0 for the club of Arsenal. And Arsenal were easily skipping past the side of Man City. And I was like, why are they really looking like this? Haven't they played places? Haven't they gone ahead to play what we call pre-season in there for you? But all in all, you could see lapses in defending of Man City. However much Pep was not all that good at defending, but I don't think a Pep side could obviously go ahead and really concede goals like this, But Kai Havertz, a man who scored in the final, was on target. And after him being on target, we went ahead to obviously find another start that best fits him. Opta Joe again coming in through telling us that Kai Havertz has been involved in more goals against City, 7 games, 4 goals and 3 assists. 7 goal involvements with 4 goals and 3 assists than against any other side in his club career. What does that mean? If there is anything that he enjoys doing, he enjoys scoring against City. That is it. Kai Havertz enjoys scoring against City. 7 goal involvements for this man in here for you, and 4 goals and 3 assists. He just enjoys doing it. And I tell you what, he's a big game player. That is one thing you should obviously accept him of and really give him the 5-finger salute. In big games, Kai Havertz turns up. Remember, the Champions League final that Arsenal went ahead to lose. Who turned up to see to it that Arsenal goes to where they deserve to be? It was Kai Havertz, and again went ahead to score in the opening minutes of the game. So Kai Havertz went ahead to score another beautiful goal, but kudos to a man known as Tzolis. Tzolis did all what he had to do to see to it that he put in a very huge victory in there for you. Now, first half ended 2-0. The best and worst results at halftime. But David Raya needed to pull out some 2 saves from Erling Haaland, and another one came in from Doku there for you, and even Ben White had to slip in a boat to block it from entering into the net of Arsenal, meaning that Arsenal had a watertight defending system, and they went ahead to obviously do the needful. Now, we go to halftime. Arteta makes changes. Obviously, he drops on Declan Rice, takes off Bruno Guimaraes there for you, and then he went ahead to obviously, who did he bring on? I think he brought on 2 players in there for you. So, in the 48th minute, 3 minutes into the second half, it was Martin Odegaard, the captain, came in through and said, all right, we have to seal this off, because they know to it that the only way to be safe in such a game of football is to get in a third goal as early as the game resumes. Because if you don't get in that goal, when Man City pull one back, you're on pressure. It's 2-1, and it raises their belief that they can obviously come and level you up. But when you come up and obviously score a third one, it's like game over. It's like game over. And that's exactly what Martin Odegaard did. But this goal really stood out. Why did this goal really stand out? You know, winning a duel that was aerial. I think it was Declan Rice who won it. Then when he won it, he went ahead to obviously play into Lewis Kelly. Lewis Kelly played into Tzolis. And Tzolis dropped the shoulder onto his right. And I think everyone was like, Tzolis is now going to go in for a curling shot. Do you know what he did? He went ahead to go in for a ground pass to Martin Odegaard. And Martin Odegaard took one touch, you know, that saw him go through Jesco Vardio, beat Jesco Vardio and Ruben Diaz. Then he faced the goalkeeper. And when he faced the goalkeeper, he went ahead to sit him down and obviously passed the ball past the goal line for a team known as Man City. And at that particular moment, that's when I got to know that it's done. It's done. There is no way a team known as Man City could obviously get back into this narrative, because Arsenal had gone ahead to obviously elevate their levels to being untouchable. And indeed, Arsenal really did the job and found themselves in a position of really getting this one well to where they deserve to be. Now, let me talk about the players. Tzolis Christos. Christos Tzolis. Remember the name. He is the most informed Arsenal player as we speak right about now. He was the best player in the preseason for the club of Arsenal, and he has gone ahead to obviously carry that form from the preseason into the season, because today the season has gone ahead to start. He has registered a brace of assists in this game, and it was competitive because every manager wanted to win this game of football. And to me, I really went ahead and predicted that Tzolis might be the signing of the season in the Premier League. That is it. He might be the signing of the season. And when you look at how he was playing easy and quick. And for a player of his caliber to come in through and do that at Arsenal, you have to give him a 5-finger salute. Because you can't tell me that Mikel Arteta has not gone ahead to tell these things to Martinelli. Trossard, at least Trossard tried a little bit. You know, let me get him out of that. Noni Madueke, Eberechi Eze, Bukayo Saka, Max Dorman. When you look at what this boy is doing, indeed, this is exactly what the team of Arsenal missed. This is exactly what the team of Arsenal needed, because they needed that player with a very good end product and doesn't take so many touches on the ball. The first touch he controls, the second pass, he really finds a well-positioned player, meaning that you are obviously not giving your opponents time to obviously recover and resettle and really close you down. No way. That's why you see to it that all the 3 goals that Arsenal have gone ahead to score, there is a touch of Tzolis. The first one, as everyone thinks that he's obviously going to be floating that ball into the mixer, or he's obviously going to be trying to take off a player, Tzolis lifts up his head and sees the unmarked Noni Madueke, and he really goes in for a cross on the opposite side of the pitch. And when he really put that in on the opposite side of the pitch, guess who comes in through? Noni Madueke. The header into, near the D, into a man known as Lewis Skelly. Skelly with a line-breaking pass through a flat-footed Man City defense, and Carafiori went ahead to do the needful. And now, it shows you that Carafiori's role this time around is totally different, as Arteta has always gone ahead to deploy his elbow system that has gone ahead to obviously prevent Carafiori from being a flying left back, right? Now, he is giving him a different role altogether. Even in the preseason, you saw to it that he was inverting so much and getting into goal-scoring positions. And this might be the plan of Mikel Arteta in this particular game, that he wants to see this guy in more goal-scoring positions. And indeed, it will pay off results because you've seen him. By the time Arsenal went ahead to score, in the first 10 seconds, he was already into the same position, and driving that ball through the left inside tunnel was really great for this guy. And I'm like, Arteta is cooking something special into this particular season. So, after that, Tzolis went ahead to create the second goal. Single header into the face of goal. Kai Havertz put it in the back of the net. Then, the third one, you saw what he did. And again, the counters, the balls he gave Saka, counter-attacking. You understand? So, he is that player that has been missing in the team of Arsenal that obviously does things quick. He doesn't find himself getting holded onto the ball a lot. He's like, no way, I'm not here to be a selfish player, because Arsenal has been having very many selfish players. And that's why we all told you that a man known as Victor Gyökeres is obviously going to be scoring very many goals come this season. Why? Because he's now having a provider who will obviously do things quick for him to see to it that he really goes ahead to obviously net in those goals. Now, the side of Arsenal has gotten a man that has always gone ahead to miss into the jigsaw of a man known as Mikel Arteta. I tell you, this is exactly what it has been missing in Arsenal. I wish they can get a right attacking midfielder who can do things quicker than like Tzolis. Why am I saying that? Let's talk about Noni Madueke. Noni Madueke is good at positioning himself, is good at taking the ball to opponents, bullying them, but his end product is next to nothing, and he really does so many touches on the ball. You understand? He does so many touches on the ball. I'm talking about Noni Madueke. If Arsenal had another Tzolis-like player onto the right attacking side of the midfield, today Man City would have gone ahead to swallow like 6 goals. That is it. They would have gone ahead to beat that hell out of them, because Noni Madueke was played into many positions, but he was really doing so many touches on the ball, something that Tzolis doesn't do. And that's why the manager went ahead to obviously play Tzolis 90 minutes. He's going to be the season changer. He's going to be the format changer for the club of Arsenal. And you won't at any one time not give him his flowers, because the lad is really that good. And coming in through for 40 million euros from the side of Club Brugge, the club of Arsenal, obviously another player outside the Premier League coming in through and doing exactly what is being bought in for. Michelotti, is he called Michelotti? This other guy Arsenal signed from Napoli. Let me check his name in here for you. Arsenal scout. They signed from Napoli. What is his name? He's called Micheli. Maurizio Micheli is the name. And these are kind of sportings that obviously make you look like that make you understand that indeed there is something special in this kind of signing that you brought in through. People think that only signing only the players is enough. But signing in players like me, he's called Micheli, is very important. Now, do you know how much Arsenal is going to hit to save in getting in this player in? Do you know how much Arsenal is going to hit to save? They've going to hit to save a lot of money by doing that. So, in Micheli, there is a person who has going to hit to come in through the club of Arsenal, and he's obviously rescuing them from really getting in expensive players and getting in cheap players that can do the job. At the end of the season, you might find out that Tzolis has gone ahead to out-assist every Arsenal player. If he goes at this pace, Tzolis will out-assist every player. Because today, when you're playing against Man City, if you come up and obviously put out 2 assists, what will happen if you are playing against a team like Coventry on Friday when Arsenal opens up in the Premier League? What is going to happen? He will tear them apart. He will tear them apart. He might get himself a hat-trick of assists because these teams are obviously going to come up with what we call a compact kind of game to play, or style of play. And them coming up with a compact style of play, you need a Tzolis kind of player to really unpack those buses. And I tell you, if you're playing against a man known as Frank Lampard on Friday, Frank Lampard is obviously going to be coming in through to pack the bus. No doubt about it. He's going to come in through to pack the bus. Now, on his way to come up and pack the bus, Arsenal will come up and obviously do the needful through this guy Tzolis. He's really good and he tracks back well. After tracking back well, he comes in through and does the needful in the forward play of the game, in the offensive side. Defense and offensively, the guy is on point. I tell you, Arsenal have gotten themselves a jam. That is it. You might not really want to hear what I'm telling you, but indeed, they've gone ahead, obviously, get themselves in a player that they've always gone ahead to lack in the attack. Now, when you add on a Bruno Guimaraes through the central midfield, I tell you, it's really deadly. Did you see Guimaraes today? He looked like he had played with Myers Lewis Kelly for a very long period of time. The connection, the communication, understanding each other. I tell you, Arsenal is really one of those sides that are really great. Because if they've not obviously taken that to the next game, because I feel like Arsenal won this game when they're in Gear 1. That's what I really think. Arsenal won this game when they're in Gear 1. They never went ahead to put in a second gear. Gear 1 is where they started from. They never needed a second gear to obviously win this game of football. They never needed to get stretched, to obviously win this game of football. Arsenal is Arsenaling, and Man City was buried totally today by the time the referee went ahead to blow the whistle. Let's talk about Bruno Guimaraes. Now, the coming in through of Bruno Guimaraes is obviously going to be helping the side of Arsenal a lot. Did you see where Martin Odegaard was playing today? Not until it was 3-0. That's when I saw Odegaard trying to obviously go back and pick the ball. But before 1-0, Odegaard was playing high, all ahead of Bruno Guimaraes, because Bruno Guimaraes understood the assignment, got that ball and brought it to where Martin Odegaard wanted it, on the plate. And he is such a good passer of the ball. And what makes him a better player than Declan Rice is, Declan Rice, to obviously see the ball to Martin Odegaard, he's supposed to carry it himself, because Declan Rice is not a good passer of the ball. But for Bruno Guimaraes, he doesn't need to obviously carry it or dribble it to you. He just uses a pass. And he's also a better dribbler than Declan Rice. But he is a different species of a player that the Arsenal team has not gone ahead to have in their team for a very long time. I think he's unlocking Odegaard. And we all admit that today, Odegaard has been unlocked. Odegaard has been totally unlocked by this gentleman. And to me, I loved this display from the club of Arsenal, So Guimaraes has gone ahead to unlock Arsenal today. I saw it. I saw the 15 minutes they played together when in the game of Como, when Skelly and Guimaraes were there and Odegaard playing ahead of them. There was no need for Odegaard to drop, And today you've seen it very well that Odegaard was in the right spaces, and there is no need for him to drop back, because at least there is a player who can obviously bring the ball to him. And I do believe that way back, before Guimaraes came in through, maybe it was the plan of the gaffer, Mikel Arteta, that because we don't have a very good ball-holding player, let's obviously come in for you. Let's obviously use Martin Odegaard to obviously come in through and do the job. And indeed, he did the job, but many were like, but he's not acting as a number 10. You understand? So this time round, he has gone ahead to act as a typical number 10. And indeed, it has gone ahead to obviously offer results to the club of Arsenal in there for you. So as it stands right now, Arsenal is looking good. They're in good shape. And these players are not yet to where you want them to be, especially in the fitness levels in there for you. Miles Lewis-Skelly is another one that you have to talk about. Controlling that midfield, obviously. And he really looked good, though I cannot come and really overpraise him because today I think City never turned up. Their manager, who goes by the names of Enzo Maresca, went ahead to make a very big mistake, A player known as Elliot Anderson, for me, doesn't start this game. Nico Gonzalez, that you've been partnering with a man known as Kovacic, is the one that would have gone ahead, obviously, coming through and start. Then you introduce in this guy later, around the 60th minute, after understanding the situation of the game. But the 116 million pound player totally looked bad. He looked bad. And he looked like an ordinary player. He was unfit. And you ask yourself, why do you have to throw him in a game of this magnitude? Why do you have to fidget? Yet you really have other players that can really do the job. You do have Nico Gonzalez. You have Kovacic. Now, why do you hurry him into a game of this magnitude? And it might obviously spark off a social media campaign of bullying him and bantering him. And if he's not a man of the right mentality, he might find himself really losing his career. Like the many midfielders that Pep brought in through. Calvin Phillips. You can talk about Reinders, who has been sold. You can talk about Matthias Nunes, who Pep brought in as a midfielder, and by the time he left was playing him as a right back. You understand. So, don't at any one particular moment come out and really hail Skelly a lot. But he really looked good. Lewis Kelly looked good. And to me, that's why I've always told Arsenal fans that if I'm Lewis Kelly and I'm looking good like that in the midfield, then I deserve a starting spot. And at the age of 19-20, it's known to where I would want to obviously be and study. I tell you, Declan Rice has played 45 minutes today. Gimares has played 45 minutes today. In the game of Coventry, I think the manager will want to see Declan Rice and Bruno Gimares play. Martin Zubimendi has gone ahead to come in through and obviously put in a very huge shift from the bench. And I want to ask you, if Zubimendi hits form, Gimares hits form, Declan Rice hits form, Merino hits form, where do you see Lewis Skelly? If I'm Skelly, I'll be like, I've put out some good evidence. You can even ask for 70 million pounds. Sell me off. I really want to go to a club where I'm going to start. Though I also believe in the clubs where he wants to go, like Man United and Chelsea, he might not be that starting midfielder. That is it. You understand? So it's a tricky decision for him to make. But because he's still young and there are no Euros this year, he might give Arsenal one more chance. And it's like, let me stay at Arsenal for this season. But if I don't get in enough playing minutes at the club of Arsenal, then I'll be the first person to knock on the door of Mikel Arteta and with Bartha. Come the summer of 2027, that please, let me go. You understand? But he really looks good. My friend known as Fikma is one of those. He supports Man United, but he's like, I cannot sell Miles Lewis Kelly. He sent me a message during the game and told me, Rokani, you see what I told you? Lewis Kelly is good. But however good he is, what is making him look good is him getting in enough minutes. Meaning that if the minutes continue to shrink, he won't be that player that you've gone ahead to see today in there for you. But he really looked good alongside Bruno Gimares, and he shielded that back for very well. I remember the ball he really got off, was it Erling Haaland's foot? So he's a different kind of player altogether, and I think Arsenal have a very good player in this guy. He's really good, and I just love what he went ahead to do in there for you. And I think the other players, we talk about them during what we call the during what we call the what is it called? The player ratings that obviously going to be coming on there after this video. Now, Arsenal's 3-0 win over Man City is the biggest margin of victory in the Community Shield game since 2014, when the Gunners beat Man City by the same scoreline. So, the last team to beat Man City 3-0 in the Community Shield was Arsenal in 2014. And now, there comes Arsenal do the same shit again. Onto Arsenal again. They call it Shege. So, Arsenal is really walking in good lines in there for you. Then we go to Enzo Maresca. Bring a little bit of facts in for this game. Enzo Maresca suffered the joint heaviest defeat by a Manchester City manager in their first game with Harry Newbold in 1906. Only previous one to lose by 3 goals against Arsenal. Oh, so in 1906, Arsenal beat Man City manager by 1-0. You know, and this one has gone ahead to serve the heaviest because he has not gone ahead to score. They've gone ahead to beat him 3-0. Enzo Maresca, will he obviously resurrect? The mindset has obviously been tampered with of the players. Arsenal won the league, right? Arsenal won the league, right? With some good... were they 2 or 3 points ahead of City? You understand? And now they had Pep. Without Pep, guess what happens? Now, Tzolis, on what was his full Arsenal debut, Christos Tzolis became the first player to assist 2+ goals in Community Shield since David Beckham in 1996 versus Newcastle. You understand? So, he's writing history, 2 assists into this season. Now on Friday, that is next week, we wait to see what will come from these other players. If positivity arises, I tell you, all will be on well as planned in there for you. So that is all about what we have in here from that side. But we cannot obviously get into your live chat comments before heading into what we call the stats of the game and see what was really put out in there for you. We get there straight. Arsenal, 8 shots. Man City had 8 shots too. Arsenal had 4 shots on target and Man City had 5. Out of the 4 for Arsenal, 3 crossed the line. And out of Man City, that we have 5 on target, none of those went ahead to cross the line. Then 44% ball possession by Arsenal. City had 56%. 414 passes completed by Arsenal. 539 passes completed by Man City. 86% passing accuracy by Arsenal. Then 91% passing accuracy by Man City. 11 fouls to Arsenal and Man City. Then 2 yellow cards to both sides. No red cards was issued in this game. 2 offsides to Arsenal and 1 offside to Man City. 2 corners to Arsenal and 4 corners to the club known as Man City. So that's how the stats really went ahead to obviously happen, and Arsenal went ahead to emerge as the winners of this beautiful game of football in there for you. David Raya pulling out some good saves in there for, especially in the first half, but after the first half, I think he had nothing to do in that particular encounter. I head into your live chats and see what you guys are really saying. I'm the first person to like you. Thank you. That is Mark Bwambale. And guys, we are having 200 people watching in through, and we only have 65 likes. Please go ahead and obviously like this video to 200 likes, right? And continue to subscribe. After subscribing, hit the notification bell. We want to hit 40,000 subscribers, you understand? Then Moses says, good evening Aradi. Good evening Moses. David Sozi, thanks bro for your time and effort. All right, thank you too for watching in through. Rokani, you told us Arsenal is going to beat City. 2-1 was my prediction, by the way, and Arsenal have gone ahead to keep another clean sheet, by the way. Let me tell you, Arsenal have gone ahead to keep another clean sheet. Remember, no team kept more clean sheets in the Premier League and the Champions League more than Arsenal. Meaning that they are starting from the same blueprint they really had last season. And the other one is the club of Arsenal. The club of Arsenal, I was talking about clean sheets. The club of Arsenal has not gone ahead to score a goal from a set piece. All goals came in through from open play. The first one, it was an open play. The second one, it was an open play goal. The third one was an open play goal. One of the things that we are perturbing the people at Arsenal and the fans of Arsenal, that what if we don't obviously score from open play? And clubs have gone ahead to obviously understand they call it the what? Dirty tricks that they use in corners to obviously score. How are we obviously going to survive? And you saw to it that today, Arsenal never needed to rely on corners to win games. Now, if they carry this into the Premier League that is starting next Friday as they hold Coventry at the Emirates, I tell you what, it will speak volumes to everyone who was bantering them that it was Corner FC and they've gone ahead to bring in another set-piece taker in Tzolis. Dan Habwe says, I was waiting for you to talk about the unstoppable Tzolis. I have liked the man always. Thanks for coming, Rokani. Thank you for watching in through. Then Ndiamuhazi Boaz. Thanks, Rokani, for your services. I'm watching here in Rwanda. My people in Rwanda, thank you for watching in through. And I know Rwanda has very many Arsenal fans in there for you. So thank you for obviously watching in this beautiful channel. Samuel says, Aradi, your friend Madweke today was not well. I've talked about him. And I told you that if Madweke could obviously do easy football like Tzolis, Arsenal would have gone ahead to destroy Man City to like 6 goals. Because Noni Madweke positions himself very well, makes good runs, his end product of the game is nothing. On 3 occasions in the first half, there is one that Bruno Guimaraes went ahead to obviously go to the blind side where he was, and he went long, controlled the ball very well. Instead of looking out for Martin Odegaard, who was in the middle of the park, to obviously give him the ball, and then Martin Odegaard releases him in the space that was left towards the byline, he was like trying to obviously make many touches that were really uncalled for. And I'm like, what's wrong with Madweke? You understand? So, if Arsenal can find a player on the right that can do what that can do what Tzolis does, no team can obviously stand in their way. That is it. Arsenal on top, that is Muzora, Boaz, Man City without Rodri is finished. Let me tell you, even if they really had Rodri, Pep is a different breed of a manager, and how he calculates the game is really different. But I do believe Enzo Maresca will obviously put up a show this season. That is it. He'll put up a chess. And I think he's the only team close to obviously making this season hard for the club of Arsenal. I don't see any other team that can make life hard for the club of Arsenal. That is it. Apart from Man City. One will tell me Liverpool, don't think so. Man United, I don't think so that I support them. Chelsea, not really. Dizabi, I don't really believe so. But even Rodri not being present is a very, 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 very big void for them and a very big blow. And they want to bring in Enzo. They want to replace him with 2 players, Ayub Buwadi and Enzo Fernandez. That shows you how big he is and his influence. By the way, that midfield of Man City, if they add in Buwadi and Enzo Fernandez, you at least understand that they have midfielders that can obviously be used to build up the attack, And Enzo Fernandez is a very good box-to-box midfielder. If he's playing alongside Elliot Anderson, they form a very good partnership. I think they can cause havoc to very many teams in the league. That is it. Home design consultants. Pep left my bro. Obviously, he left. And the difference between Pep's coaching, and Enzo Maresca is like night and day. This is Home Designs. Pep left. Then Joseph says a big up bro. Then Magua. Saka started doing his rubbish again. The guy don't want to pass the ball. If we can get someone better than him, he will start knowing that he's not the only star. I think with what happened at the club of Arsenal, however much he's called the star boy, but he no longer has that license and luxury to obviously come on the pitch and do what he has gone ahead to do today. I saw Tzolis playing him quick, but for him, He doesn't want to play in others quick. He still wants to hold on to that ball, yet the defenders that they had beaten off by pace and quick passing are reorganizing. So that's why Tzolis stands out. Abio Christine, hey Rokani, congratulations to Arsenal for the first trophy and thank you for your show. I'm not an Arsenal supporter, but I'm just an open-minded reactor. You understand? And a football fan. Dennis Mutiaba, thanks RD for the good job. All right. Patrick Ekering, finishing of Madueke is very poor, but Man City was to swallow 6 goals. That is it. Kasande, why is Arsenal beating Man City? I've just gone ahead to explain to you that it was a tactical masterclass, and Arsenal never went ahead to obviously get out of Gear 1 to Gear 2 because they never were at any one point put in a position of really feeling like Man City was obviously going to come up and do something. No way. City was nowhere close to that. Arsenal Jew, that is Rubega. Aikoboa Filiam, we need to keep Skelly. He's really good, but you have to obviously get him minutes, you know. I don't think that it will be very easy for the side of Arsenal to come up and obviously convince him to obviously be limited to minutes. I've told you, he can stay for this season, but if at all he doesn't get enough playing time, then the manager will obviously try to do things otherwise. Kaguisa says, hey, already Arsenal tried so much to use Tzolis. Indeed. Tzolis might turn out to be that best player in this era of Mikel Arteta. Why? He was never in goal-scoring positions, right? And him not being in goal-scoring positions, he was in positions to assist for other players. And that's what he went ahead to do. And he's a very good finisher. I will tell you this. He's a very good finisher. If balls come into position where he's supposed to score, indeed, he'll obviously bury that ball in the back of the net. Christopher Chris, Man United is next. United is playing Arsenal in December. So it's really some long journey. It's not going to happen very soon. You understand? It's not going to be coming up very soon. So I know Arsenal fans really like that a lot, and they want to obviously get my view about what I think of that game. But it's not yet here. It's still far off, please. It's still far off. And by the time United plays against Man United, would have already gone ahead to see what exactly is Michael Carrick painting at the club of Man United. You understand? Kwesigwa Habat, thanks Rokani for your assessment of the game. I pray for you to be employed by Supersports. Sometimes when you are here, unless they take me for what is it called? Part-time. I go there work. I have to come back and really serve you guys because it's you guys who have turned me into what I am in there for you. Cosmas Inziku, Arsenal have to add money for the money they pay to Tzolis. Need to be added. Right. So you like salary increment should be done on Tzolis. Muhammad Hamidu, well done, Mr. Champion. All right. Sozi Jim, what a Tzolis performance. Indeed, the Tzolis performance is unmatched. No Arsenal player went ahead to match his performances. Katulidi Susan, thanks dear. All right. John from Kenya says, very great analysis as usual. Watching from Kenya. All right. Kagwisa says, Rokani, compare Tzolis and Anthony Gordon. Let me tell you, it best explains why Arsenal had both of those players on their list, because Anthony Gordon also is a player who doesn't really do many touches on the ball. And I think they've got to know that in the way they're playing, they need another player who is different from the left and right forwards they really have. And obviously, even Anthony Gordon is in the mold of this guy. That is it. And you're going to see him at Barcelona, because when you're at Barcelona and you're having Rafinha, can do many touches with the ball, and Lamine Yamal and many others, Pedri does so. You need a player who can bring out a different thing that will obviously unlock your players. You understand? And who is that player to me? It is none other than Tzolis. Anthony Gordon at Barcelona and Tzolis at Arsenal. In there for you. This is Geo Graham Senkindu. Thanks, bro. I'm really appreciating your good job. Thank you. Ngozi Richard. Tzolis, my man of the match. I'll tell you my man of the match when I do my player ratings. Mr. Sesi Aradi. Didn't see the two Gabriels. Obviously, if you never watched my match day live, they're leaving. That's why they're not included in the squad. Them and Ethan Waneri, they're leaving the club of Arsenal, and they never wanted to risk them out in this kind of game because they would have gone to get injury, yet teams are ready to take them. That is it. This is Gilbert. Thanks, already. I'm watching you from Somalia. How is Somalia? How is Somaliland? Thank you for watching in through. Ceci, I think Tzolis is better than Gabriel Martinelli, but we must keep Martinelli. No way. No way. If you want to obviously take Arsenal to the next level, you need to get out that belief that you need Martinelli. If you have a player known as Tzolis, not even here for a season, performing like that, and you're believing that he's better than Martinelli, then why do you keep Martinelli there? Yet this player has been playing from Club Brugge, meaning that Arsenal should go in for someone better than Martinelli. And I don't want Arsenal to be taking off Tzolis and getting on a Martinelli. They have to be getting in another player who is at least better than Tzolis. You understand? But Tzolis, even in the preseason, he already showed us that he's better than Gabriel Martinelli, and Arsenal needed better. And at Tzolis, you don't need anything below Tzolis. You need something above Tzolis. I tell you. Mr. Sassi, we need to add one more attack, one defender, and right winger. Arsenal looking in for right winger. They're looking in for forward, a center forward, and a left forward. So Arsenal might obviously go ahead and bring in 3 more players before this season, before the summer transfer window really closes in there for you. Then Opolot says Tzolis is very good and very direct. You're right. Yes, he is. We do have Odong Joffrey. Good evening, Aradi. I'm very excited for this win for the Gunners. Arsenal have just started. Let's continue with our Martinelli. Not really. This is what Martinelli has to leave and is going to be sold. Bids from Galatasaray and AS Roma on the table. He's going to be sold. Shakira, we need Alvarez. Now, Alvarez is one of those that Arsenal needs, and the list of center forwards is now increasing in there for you. But you get Alvarez in that team, City was dead and buried already. Fred Mandela, good evening, Aradi. A big credit to Bata, transfer genius. Yeah, but Micheli has to be given his flowers because I think that is a Micheli scout. That is a Micheli scouted player, right? Michael, can Arsenal get Osimhen? Yeah. Looks like Arteta is moving on for Osimhen. He's not really waiting for what we call that dilly-darling from Atletico Madrid. They look like they want to sell. At a certain point, X, they're like, we are not willing to sell. You understand? Then, Chedotich Ivan, I saw Bruno Guimaraes. No. He's okay. Shakira, can we get Bakola? Bakola is going to Liverpool, unless otherwise Liverpool fails to pay that amount of money. But if at all I'm Arsenal, I've spent 40 million euros on Tzolis. Why don't I look for another 40 million euro player who is like Tzolis? That's why for me in my mind, I was like, Mika Götze went to PSG, would have gone ahead to be a different kind of player altogether. Because for him, he's a fast-thinking player, and he really has what we call a skill set that can skip past players and send them back to where they were born, all boat. You understand? So, I think that's what Arsenal should do. I wouldn't like to see Arsenal bring in a Bakola right now because he's expensive. And he comes with a lot of pressure onto Arteta that, please, you have to get me into the game immediately. Yet he's not a Vinicius Jr. If it was a Vini, I'm okay with it. Omoding says Tzolis is a gem indeed. Mugisha Fred, Aradi is watering. Aradi is watering. Going on all. He's to be sold. Who is watering? Who is watering? I don't know. Does Arsenal have a player known as watering? Sendagide Ronald, for sure. Our bench is so dangerous already. Yeah, that's what they call building a team. And Arteta knows exactly when to bring them on. Kaguisa says, how far is the transfer gossip between Arsenal and Osimhen? go onto the video section. There is a video there. I did one last night and today before the game started. You can obviously enjoy that story. Obunai Tipson. Tzolis is incredible. Arsenal need another right back. Obviously, they don't. But at the look of things, if Benjamin White stays, though I see links to Everton, then they might pull out, but that will be a very big mistake because this is an injury-prone, proven player. Victor Yugi says, "Hey Rokani, I'm from your neighbor country, Kenya. All right. Tzolis doing what he knows best. Assists after assists. A brace of assists, my dear. Guys, if you ever think that cheaper players cannot work in a system, then Tzolis is proving all of us wrong. But he has given out his all, and those assists have been lacking the team of Arsenal because it was very hard to see a forward of Arsenal with his first intention, all primary role, looking out for his well-placed centre forward. And this time round, Kai Havertz, who has been leading the line, has been serviced very well by Tzolis, and he scored. Odegaard, who plays high up the pitch because of the coming in for Bruno Guimaraes, has also gone ahead to obviously put in a very huge shift and found himself at the D. And remember, it was a counter-attack. Most times when Arsenal is really hitting teams on the counter, Odegaard makes those late runs and is the late arriver in there for you. But this time round, he was already around the D, and he went ahead to obviously destroy the side of Man City. This is Sese Aradi. I think the last time I requested to do a live interview with your fans was 20. Aradi, the last time I requested you to do live interview with your fans. Obviously, I'm planning about that. There's a software I'm supposed to pay. When I pay it, then you guys, I'll bring you on. And if at all you feel like you want to be part, you can join the WhatsApp group, and I'll obviously be putting in the link in there for you. But soon, I'll obviously try to do it and see that I really have you on here and have very good discussion with you. Thank you for the reminder. Odut Paul, welcome, brother Aradi. Who is looking at in the central defense? Obviously, there is Konsa and Kwanzaa in there for you. Sendagire Ronald. But I think Ateta won't need Osimhen. Reason being Kai Havertz is Arsenal's first striker and Gyökeres comes. No, Gyökeres is Arsenal's first striker. And I tell you, how would you tell him he doesn't need Victor Osimhen when he's losing Gabriel Jesus? Now, when you look at Kai Havertz, look at him as this kind of player who will come in through, and he's Mr. Versatility, you know? And he's this guy who wins you big games. But I think Gyökeres is the first striker. But Arsenal needs Osimhen. If you're having in Osimhen, Kai Havertz, and Gyökeres, Osimhen, Kai Havertz, and Gyökeres, I think that will be a deadly attack, you know. Then Mugisha Fred, I meant Ethan Waneri. He's leaving. That is it. Even Ateta confirmed it. Kagwisa says, Aradi, I bet you have to mention Odegaard as the MVP. Oh. He looked good, by the way. Today, Odegaard looked good. He looked good, but Tzolis stole the show from every Arsenal player. Tzolis. You people. Tzolis. I repeat the name. Tzolis. There comes Douglas. The game was good. Only Madueke wasted a lot. Yeah, he was wasteful. Even Saka came in through and was really wasteful. You understand? So, that is it coming in through from the people at Arsenal and everyone who is really watching this beautiful game of football. Arsenal's gone ahead to lift the Community Shield, and can we really get in these photos of Arsenal lifting the Community Shield? All right, let me try to obviously get you these photos of Arsenal lifting the Community Shield. But indeed, they've done it, and they've gone ahead to obviously deserve it, because when you obviously go all out and really perform well, then who else can stop you? Arsenal looked unstoppable. Let me talk a little bit about City. First and foremost, I think the team selection was poor. Yeah. To me, the team selection was poor. How? Let me explain. One of City's best playing centre-backs was none other than Mark Guehi. How could the manager not play Mark Guehi in that central defense? You know, I know he looked at experience, Jesco Vadio, and Ruben Diaz. But to my understanding, I think this guy known as Guehi would have gone ahead to do a better job and partner with this guy better. This guy has not been playing football for some time and just gone ahead obviously coming through. And who am I talking about? I'm talking about this guy. I'm talking about this guy called what's his name? I'm talking about this guy called Jesco Vadio. But Mark Guehi was supposed to be given more time to obviously play. But I don't know what the plan of the manager was, but all in all, they've gone ahead to lose. And now Arteta has come up and obviously said the following after this performance. And I'm like, let me obviously come up and obviously show you this and show exactly what the manager of Arsenal has gone ahead to obviously come out and really tell us. Arteta has told us that a really good performance is so early in the season to play at that level and to show the desire that we should and their reaction. I was really impressed and I say to them that I really enjoyed watching them play. I'm a bit surprised because in the preseason we had 3 different groups. 8, all 9 arrived just 5 days ago to get tested. They trained 2 days and to play in that matter is extremely impressive. It tells you how much these players want it, the level of desire we have at the quality and the quality we did have. Now, on Tzolis, he said he's accommodated into the team and his levels of understanding as a player. I think he makes a lot of decisions that other people rush. I think he makes a lot of decisions that other people rush. Or he's like, his decisions make the opponents rush and hence Arsenal penalizing them. He says he's very smart, very accurate, and again today, in tight spaces, he made the right decisions and he assisted 2 goals. So, you see even the manager is talking about him that he went ahead to make the right decisions in there for you and he really did out his best. Then, on the strength of Arsenal's midfield, he said it's very strong. We've been adding year after year the quality and now we have a lot of leadership. Players with different qualities but can play together and be very strong. That is what Arteta has gone ahead to say about the man known as Tzolis, who has gone ahead to obviously do the needful and really put out a very huge claim in there for you. And we get to the manager of let's get to the manager of Man City and see what the City boss has gone ahead to say. Now, the City boss has come up and said the following. I think a big part of the game is in the first goal we concede. I told you, you remember? I told you that the first goal that they conceded, obviously, just showed you that they were disorganized. The defense was flat. The midfield was nowhere to be seen. Their positional sense was really very poor. So there is nothing that could stop them from obviously not really conceding. So you see the manager coming and hitting straight at it. After the reaction is good, before they score the second goal, we had 3 or 4 chances to score. Then with the second goal, it became more difficult. In general, I'm always concerned, even when we win games. We just started. This is the beginning. We have many things to do. Now we try to reset. analyze the game and think from Tuesday about the next game. The first goal we conceded, I didn't like. Then the second one, there was no pressure on the ball. I don't know if it's for physical condition. We had many players, probably the club with more players at the World Cup. Now, who told you to field them? I came up and really said, in a game like this, you are supposed to use more of those players that really played in your preseason. In the midfield, why start the guy that we all know that is good, but he has not been at Man City? He has pressure because of the price they brought him in through at City. I'm talking about Elliot Anderson. And then you go ahead to obviously start him. That is wrong. Nico Gonzalez was supposed to play in that midfield with that guy, known as Kovacic. And then this one would have going to come in through later, when at least you have grip onto the game. But you played him for all those minutes and you lost totally, and there is no way you could obviously get yourself into the game. I do believe that even Phil Foden played a lot of minutes. You saw to it that when Ryan Chucky came in through, a lot of magic was happening in around that beautiful place. So, Riccardo Carafiori, the goal scorer for the club of Arsenal, has something to say about this. And I think I like it when players give flowers to those that really deserve them. Riccardo Carafiori has come out and said, it was such an important test for us. The trophy is still important, but it was to prove our mentality after winning last season. Have you heard that after winning last season, they had to come up and obviously prove the mentality that it is really right? This kind of performance is close to perfection. And asked on the goal, he said, amazing. It helped the team a lot. I try always to give solutions, but on this occasion, the pass from Miles Lewis Kelly was incredible. Not every player can see these lines. I try to offer options, and Miles Lewis Kelly gave me the perfect one. It was 70% him and 30% mine. I like it when the guy gives credit where it's due. And indeed, Lewis Kelly, with that line-breaking pass through the flat-footed defense of Man City, you have to give him his flowers. Skelly is putting out evidence to the manager that you still have to have me in your team. That's the evidence that Lewis Kelly is obviously putting out. And he deserves it. He deserves it because he has really worked so hard to prove to people that all is all. Now, the Man City, lastly, let me bring you the Man City captain. That is Luis Diaz. And captaining Man City without Pep, my Luis Diaz is obviously going to really dance to the music. That is it, because it's not something easy at all. So, Diaz has come up and said the following. Obviously, it wasn't good enough, frustrating. First of all, thank you to the fans who came. It's a long distance. It's the beginning of the season, but it's not good enough. Many things are changing, a new manager as well, but still, the way the game starts, it sets you off right away. They get uncomfortable, but in the end as well, this is just starting and we are already looking forward. We will be ready for the next game. In a final, we wanted to win it, but if there is a lesson to be learned in the final, let it be this one, because there is a lot of finals coming in through. On Enzo Maresca, he said, on the new era under Maresca, it's a lot of positive energy and feeling of a lot of work to put in. It's part of any transition for things not to be so perfect in the beginning. So you need to push through, keeping working, communicate and make things work between us and Maresca as well. I feel lucky. We're in a good way, but we need to keep on working, and there is going to be lots of challenges along the way. Stay positive, look forward. We have our first Premier League game very soon, and we are looking forward to it. And that is a man known as, what's his name? He goes by the names of Ruben Diaz, one of the best defenders in the world. So, I think we've gone ahead to obviously at least tackle everything. And Douglas says the game was good, only Madweke wasted. All right. Kagwa says Tzolis Vanange. All right. Sesei says the two Gabriel are going to get the medals. I don't think so. Ndiamoka Boaz, to me, the MVP was Kelly. Man of the match, Tzolis for me. That is it. Nabs, the king himself. Thanks, Mr. Aradi. I'm watching you live from Abu Dhabi. Arsenal, the Gunners, Jew. Looks like this. Nabs. I know this Nabs. Nabs, do I know you? Do I know you? I called Hanifa. All right. You'll confirm later. Kakapato. Pato from Lazebo. Ateta is ready to defend the Premier League. Thanks. All right. So, guys, it has been nice having you in here for you. And we've streamed live for 1 hour. And we almost hit 300 people watching in live. And thank you guys watching in through. And continue to subscribe. After subscribing, turn on the notification bell. It will help you get notified every time I upload a video onto this channel. I think I've gone ahead to tackle everything. Whatever I haven't gone ahead to obviously tackle, obviously, expect me into what we call the what? Expect me into what we call the, what is it called? The player ratings and the other videos that I'll be doing in there for you. The video of Victor Osimhen is already up onto the video section. And I think you guys are really ready to obviously go ahead and really watch it. A little bit of this. Let me see. Arsenal celebrating, you know, the Community Shield. I think you need to see this. That is Arsenal, obviously celebrating their triumph of the Community Shield. You see Odegaard, Declan Rice, Kai Havertz in there for you in the mix, celebrating it. And then you have to see the Arsenal, obviously, Community Shield winners 2026, you know. So that is Arsenal for you. And let no one lie to you that a team that wins the Community Shield won't win the Premier League. Arsenal are Arsenaling and everything is good for them. Lastly, man of the match is Odegaard. All right, Odegaard really looked good, but my player ratings are coming up after this video, and I'm going to be uploading them, and I'll be telling you who my man of the match was. I'm out. Bye-bye, and thank you for watching in through. I love you all, but continue to subscribe because we want to hit 30,000.